Hey, it's Heath Mullican from the Double Dropkick Show, the SOS Custom Wrestling Network, heading the Carolinas, Georgia Wrestling Spotlight. And we just finished the first quarter of 2019, and so I'm going through the promotions that are part of our network. And I'm running down my top 5 rankings for singles, and then I'm also talking about the top tag teams for each promotion. Midlands Championship Wrestling just had their April show last Saturday on April the 6th, 2019 in St. Matthews, South Carolina. And so I'm going to go ahead and include that show into these rankings. So over the first 4 shows of 2019, here are my rankings for Midlands Championship Wrestling. First of all, let's talk about tag teams. Now, this last Saturday's show was the first time we had tag team competition at Midlands Championship Wrestling. The WrestleForce Tag Team Championships were put on the line by the E&D, Zuka King, and TJ Boss. Now, over the first 3 months of 2019, Zuka King and TJ Boss had been a thorn in the side of the Joxer and Stephen Hunter. And so it was believed that it would be Hunter and the Joxer who got a shot at the WrestleForce Tag Team Championships on Saturday night. However, the Joxer still injured and unable to compete, to the surprise of everyone. And it was a pleasant surprise for the crowd there in St. Matthews. Josh Magnum made his return to the Midlands of South Carolina, his first appearance for the promotion, and he and Stephen Hunter, with what I would call a major upset, won the WrestleForce Tag Team titles from Zuka King and TJ Boss, despite outside interference from fellow E&D member Nick Kismet. So, as we look at the tag team situation in Midlands Championship Wrestling, I look for it to heat up over the summer. And as we head into the summer, but by far, the number 1 team, Josh Magnum and Stephen Hunter, but a close second, Zuka King and TJ Boss, and really any members of the E&D. Now, as far as the singles competition is concerned, number 5 is going to be a guy who just debuted on Saturday night. Now, the reason that I have put him just after one match into the top 5 singles is simply because other guys that would have been rated in the singles, guys like Stephen Hunter, Zuka King, TJ Boss, Joxer, they're kind of tied up now in the tag team scene. So I wanted to think about, who are the individuals who would be more likely to receive a shot at the WrestleForce Heavyweight Championship. So number 5, a guy who debuted and got a victory over Bobby Valentine on Saturday night, Dustin Bosworth. That's right, Bosworth made his debut. He was supposed to be there in March, was unable to compete then. He did have a successful debut Saturday night, and he finds himself at number 5 in my Midlands Championship Wrestling rankings. Number 4, a guy who, to my knowledge, remains undefeated in singles competition and now tag team competition in Midlands Championship Wrestling, and that is TK Stark. He has victories over Rob Killjoy, he has a victory over Sleaze, and he and Chris Vallow defeated Boomer Payne and Wesley Williams in tag team competition on Saturday night. So TK Stark has been on a roll there and getting ready to compete for Turbo Pro Wrestling. Number 3, we have a tie, and it should not surprise you who the tie would be. Number 1, you have a man who's competed twice for Midlands Championship Wrestling, once winning the WrestleForce Heavyweight Championship, and then another time losing the WrestleForce Heavyweight Championship. But he's a young man who always is in championship mix wherever he's at, and that's Caleb Conley. Tied with him in 3rd place is a longtime stalwart at WrestleForce and now at Midlands. It's a guy who really gave Brady Pierce all he could handle when he received his shot at the WrestleForce Heavyweight Championship. It's a man who'll be back when Midlands returns on March 4th, and that is the Southern Savior, John Schuyler. So Caleb Conley and John Schuyler tied for number 3. Number 2 is the man who was undefeated in January, February, and March. Saturday night received his well-deserved championship opportunity against the champion Brady Pierce, and that is Eric Darkstorm. Eric Darkstorm took Brady Pierce to a 20-minute time limit draw. As a matter of fact, Eric Darkstorm made Brady Pierce tap out, but it was right after the bell had rung to signify the time limit draw. Kudos to ring announcer of the year multiple times over, Brett Wolverton, for his job on that. Also to, again, referee of the year, Jared Fritz, for their work in this match. It was excellent. It was a great match. And again, I think Darkstorm is soon going to get another opportunity, and Brady Pierce is going to have to have his work cut out for him. And at my number 1 in Midlands Championship Wrestling, it is Brady Pierce. He lost in January to Caleb Conley, losing the WrestleForce Championship, but since then is undefeated and has that time limit draw. He defeated Caleb Conley in February. He defeated John Schuyler in March, and now went to a time limit draw with Eric Darkstorm, but really looked good in the match. He and Darkstorm were pretty even in that match. It could have gone either way, but it was a tremendous match. The entire card from Midlands Championship Wrestling will be up on the SOS Custom Wrestling Network very soon. You can go back and catch all the action from their shows, plus last year's action from WrestleForce. You can see where Brady Pierce won the WrestleForce Rumble to first win that championship, and then at Capital City Clash had a really great title defense against John Schuyler. So that's my top 5 rankings for Midlands Championship Wrestling for the first quarter of 2019. Again, number 5, Bosworth. Number 4, TK Stark. Number 3, Caleb Conley and John Schuyler. Number 2, Eric Darkstorm. And number 1, the WrestleForce Heavyweight Champion, Brady Pierce. Midlands Championship Wrestling returns to the John Ford Community Center on May the 4th. Tickets will be up very soon at soscustomtees.com. Always a great crowd there. And beginning in May, Midlands Championship Wrestling are going to be doing weekend double headers. On that Saturday, they're going to be doing, on that Sunday, May the 5th, they're going to be doing an outdoor show at Pollywogs in Columbia. That show will be in the evening once everything kind of cools down. It is festival seating, but they're going to do that throughout the summer. So in St. Matthews, you'll be able to catch Midlands Championship Wrestling, and then also the following day they'll be at Pollywogs. So make sure you keep up on DoubleDropKick.com. If you go and click on the events tab, you can see the calendar of events throughout North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And hey, if you miss any of the action, you can always catch up with it on the SOS Custom Wrestling Network at soscustomnetwork.com. Hey, right now, if you use the code 299, you get your first month for $2.99. $2.99. That's less than an order of McNuggets. So it's a great deal. You can do it now as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary. So, hey, make sure you also subscribe to the Double Dropkick Show, where Mark Whitman and I share our thoughts and opinions on various topics in wrestling, and really just kind of share our friendship over the last 40 years. So that's at DoubleDropkick.com, and that's also where you can get the best coverage of wrestling in the Carolinas and parts of Georgia. So thanks for watching or listening wherever you saw this or heard it. I'm Heath Mulliken. We'll see you next time.